MLB The Show tips, roster predictions for Friday, May 20th. Remember, those roster updates will be coming out on Friday mornings. I know last week was a little different, but Friday mornings here on out, we'll see those roster updates. So who's got the upgrades? Who's got the downgrades? Leave your comments below. We'll start with catcher, end with relievers, and I got a few diamond players to watch out for this week. And it seems like we always start off with a downgrade, and we do again with catcher Russell Martin, -2, hitting under 200, no home runs. Milwaukee Brewers catcher, though, Jonathan Lucroy, red hot, +2. He's locked in 3 home runs this week, hitting over 300 on the year. I could see a little more power. Over to first base, we got Eric Hosmer. Give him a +1, hitting close to 390 against righties, and has power against righties and lefties. 7 home runs total, so a little contact versus righties, a little more power maybe. Hanley Ramirez, +2, hitting over 300 against righties and lefties. He's been hot lately, just like the rest of the Red Sox team. He's hit 3 home runs and 380 the month of May. But in the Bronx, Mark Teixeira, -1, Yankees first baseman, only has 3 home runs this year, but he's got all those power numbers. I know he's got the track record, but I could see the power drop a bit. Prince Fielder, also -1, may lose even more contact. He's hitting under 200 against righties and lefties with only 2 home runs this season. Not a good start for Prince. But in Detroit, Ian Kinsler has smashed 3 home runs this week in back-to-back games. Maybe a +1 with some power upgrades. He's got 8 home runs on the year. In Cincinnati, Brandon Phillips, maybe a +1. 5 of his 6 home runs are against right-handed pitchers, so maybe a little more power against righties there. In Washington, second baseman Daniel Murphy. What else do you have to say about this guy? Hitting over 400, and I expect his contact rating to continue to rise as long as he keeps it up. He's got 5 home runs, which isn't bad either, so maybe a +2 upgrade. For the Indians, Jose Ramirez, maybe a +3, hitting 350 against righties. Could see some more contact there. At third base, Todd Frazier, +2 with some power versus righty boost. 10 of his 12 home runs are against the righties this year, and he's got 12 home runs total, which is second best in the majors when I recorded this video. Travis Shaw of the Red Sox, +1. The hot-hitting Shaw keeps rolling, but he's shown he struggles badly against lefties. He's hitting only around 150. But on the other side, against righties, add 200 points, and he's hitting 350 against righties with some power. That's where I really could see the +1 coming. Now, Nick Castellano, +2. The 24-year-old is still leading the American League in batting average with a 350 average, and he's elevating more balls this year, so he's turned those doubles into home runs, now with 8 on the season. Danny Valencia, my goodness, +2. He had 6 home runs in 5 games this week. Will his current power surge be rewarded? We'll find out, though. And Jake Lamb, +2, either this week or next. I could see a little more with hitting some authority, 6 home runs for the Diamondbacks. He's raised his average also to 275. At shortstop, Corey Seager, +1, hitting 370 this month, and he also has 4 home runs over the last week. I also think shortstop Francisco Lindor could get a +1. His contact could go up against lefties. Primarily, he's hitting over 400 against southpaws. But even if he doesn't get an upgrade this week, he's one of those guys, when you look at his overall, it could go up very quickly when he goes on a hot streak because his defense and speed are already above average, so keep your eye on this 22-year-old. Melvin Upton Jr., +2. He hit his 5th home run of the season, and he's putting together a nice bounce-back year, filling the stat sheet, a 280 average and 7 steals. In center field, Adam Jones, my goodness, he finally woke up. +1 for him, maybe even 2. 4 home runs this week with lots of multi-hit games. Welcome back, Adam Jones. Jackie Bradley Jr. I know a lot of you guys have asked me about him. I could only see a +1 though. He's cooled off a little bit over the last week. I think that's what developers were kind of waiting and expecting, but he's still hitting 400 this month with 5 home runs. Marcell Ozuna, +2, had a 16-game hitting streak, 7 home runs on the year so far, and he's got a 300 average. I know he's been hot. I think he could get a little upgrade. Over to right field, one of those 5-tool guys, George Springer. Maybe give him a +1 with 8 of his 9 home runs coming against righties. Might see a boost in power versus righties. Mark Trumbo, +3. Devs really need to upgrade Trumbo for a few reasons. He's hitting 340 against righties and has a combined 11 home runs. Pretty evenly split against righties and lefties, so expect some more power possibly too. Over to starting pitching, I always like upgrade potential for guys like Chris Sale, Jake Arrieta every week. If they go up 1 or 2, wouldn't surprise me. But Max Scherzer has really deserved it. Remember, he had that 20 strikeout game, tied the record for Major League strikeouts in a game, but that was never upgraded or downgraded just because of the timing of that game last week. And what did he do? He followed it up with a double-digit strikeout against the Mets, who are just in the World Series, have a pretty decent lineup. So I think a +1 or even more than that could be on the way, especially for the K per 9 category. Scherzer definitely deserves some upgrades. Now, another guy who's also had back-to-back 11 strikeout games is Miami Marlins' Jose Fernandez. Now, I know his attributes are already pretty high, so I'm not as confident on this prediction, but it's very possible he could get a +1. Now, one guy that I think should go down again is Dallas Keuchel, -2. Where did that 2015 version of Keuchel go? ERA is over 5, and he's just been terrible on the road. Can he bounce back? It's possible, but man, it's not looking good. John Lester of the Cubs, give him a +1. Has the command this year, scoring an ERA under 2 and a whip of 1. Danny Salazar of the Indians, +2. I said to get on his bandwagon earlier this year. ERA remains under 2. Listen to this, 61 strikeouts in 50 innings. He's on his way up. Now the Phillies keep surprising all of us, and Vince Velasquez is part of it. +1, another big game with 10 strikeouts, brings him into the top 20 in that category. Arizona's Ruby De La Rosa, 2 strong starts, 13 combined strikeouts, and he faced the Giants and the Rockies, and he went to Coors Field, so I could see him getting a little bit of an upgrade after those 2 good starts. Over to relievers, Jamar Gomez, +3, leads the majors with 15 saves, but he's only got 72 overall. He's not a strikeout machine, but he has been solid and deserves some upgrades. And so has his teammate Hector Neris, give him a +3. If anything should happen to Gomez, he's next in line. 10 holds, 33 strikeouts in only 24 innings this season. That'll do it for roster predictions. Make sure you leave your comments with who you like, who you don't like, and who you think should get the big upgrades this week. MLB The Show tips, thanks for watching, and we'll be back with more all season long.